Well, hello again. This is Peter Pappas. I'm here with Heather Holmes. Do you want me to use your nickname? The Pistol Packing Mama. I know you kind of like that. You kind of get anyway, so here we are. It's a Saturday. Just to let everybody know, I do have several full-time jobs, but this is why what I'm doing I feel like is very important. I told a friend of mine the other day that I'm really having a good time making these videos for you guys because, frankly, it's the truth. I'm bringing receipts. So is Heather. So is Bree. So is Laura Musler. So I'm sleeping pretty well knowing that there's people that are just crawling under rocks and taking shots from the cheap seats. But just a reminder, in 1 week, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. is the Cumberland County Republican Convention. All registered Republicans are welcome to come. You got to be there between 8 and 9 a.m. You need to bring $10 cash, and you need to bring a photo ID because that's kind of our shtick. And we're going to be electing a new. Yeah, well, it's you can be purple. The whole construct of purple means we are working with somebody that doesn't look, think, and act like us to attain our goals, because it's kind of the thought that there are people who are registered blue or Democrat that may actually go to church and have conservative values, but they are constrained. They're trapped.
They like straight Republican tickets, even though they're registered Democrats.
Absolutely.
Several of them.
But how many times have you heard, they're trapped on the Democratic plantation?
Oh, yeah.
No matter race or creed on the Democrat side, if you're a Democrat, you're a Democrat. And so I always use the example of an old neighbor of mine, that sweet couple, but this guy worked at Kelly Springfield before it was Goodyear for 35 years. He was one of these guys, those baby boomer types. And he, the first Trump election, or no, it was the second, when he lost to Biden. My neighbor says he was in his yard and he saw me and he says, "Peter, come here," because he knows I work at the poll. And he says, "I voted for your boy." And I say, "You did?" He goes, "Don't you tell my wife though." So just to me, that's a very typical Democratic thing, is that it's not popular to vote across party lines, but that they do, because they're tired of the stupidity of the left taking them for granted.
Well, that's how Trump got elected. If you look at the bigger picture, they want to sit there and talk about red, 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 all red, all red. Trump wouldn't have got elected if it was just all red. It just wouldn't happen. And so they keep talking about my president, I'm riding this high, we won. He would not have run had he not appealed to independent and Democratic voters. And
I think that's very, very, very American in our blood to work across whatever line you think you're on. You can't. It truly does take a village. And I know I've said before, hey, it takes every village is missing its idiot. And I think I found a couple in GOP, but it really truly does take a village to get things done. And that village in our case is the political sphere of what's going on here. So all the videos we've made, I think we're definitely over an hour or so of videos. And I know one video that we made Monday was right at an hour. So I know we have several hours. I can confidently say we have several hours of video trying to explain, why do we seem so aggro about our own Cumberland County GOP? And myself, you, Bree, Laura, everybody that's been in these videos, we're all registered Republicans.
And have been.
Consistent.
It's not like we're brand new to the party. We've been voting for pretty much most of our lives. We're older now. I know
we're a little more gray now.
Yeah, but I've been registered longer than.
I tell people I've been a Republican since 18 years old. My first election was Bob Dole versus Clinton, 96.
Mine was Bush when he ran.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you're a little younger than me, so
Well, 2 years.
Not by much. You're still around 55, something like that. Yeah. You look pretty good for 60. So, so I don't get. We are technically in the same building right now. We're just using different equipment right now. But she does have the ability to come and stab me, so I need to watch myself. Yes, she's just outside the door. So with that being said, we have several hours of video. We are trying to make an effort to appeal to Republicans to come out to the convention, hear out both slates that are running to run the executive board of the GOP, look for the missing $50,000, hold them accountable to why they didn't have XCOM meetings, which is executive committee means the whole Republican Party of Cumberland County, essentially. Like, they're supposed to hold these meetings regularly. They're not doing it. There's no transparency. And then there's a laundry list of just crazy, stupid. We're going to release a video today that has where the chairwoman called the police on certain members of the GOP. And we have the receipt. We have the police report. We have reports from the 911 operators. And we even have it to where one idiot responded to the police officer and I guess wanted to brag how he lost for mayor a couple of times. And the poor cop thought he was talking to Mayor Colvin because it didn't click.
He didn't know because
no,
he's out taking calls and doing patrol and stuff. He's probably not even met half of his elected officials.
Right. Well, not only so. We were discussing, I know we were talking about, we have several hours of footage, I know we were talking about the genius that when there was a board meeting over the summer where as soon as chairwoman gavelled the meeting to order, the first order of business was to go into closed session. And at that meeting, we had two
but it wasn't
elected
an executive
officials.
prom meeting. It was an emergency board.
It was an emergency board meeting,
right,
which you're still, as an XCOM member, should be allowed to be in there. And also, for transparency, anybody that's a Republican should have been able to be there. But my problem was you had two elected Republican officials, one of the state House and Senate, that were there with us, were all ejected out of the room so that the board could then pounce on Laura Musler for something she didn't do. But then when, out of fear, the chairwoman called the police, and when the police showed up, there was a genius that ran for mayor twice and lost. He'll continue to lose because he does not have what it takes. He does not know how the offices work. He just doesn't have the toolbox, I think Laura said. The first thing out of his mouth to the cop, because he's a bootlicker, he went to the cop and said, I ran for mayor a couple times. So the poor cop wrote down disturbance, spoke with Mayor Colvin. And
that's what in the report about. I was saying how, because
the CAD report.
Well, I was saying because the officers, doing patrol and he's taking all these calls and stuff, most of them don't interact with our elected officials. Mm-hmm. They have no idea who they are. I mean, it's the reality of it. And the sad part is you can't sit there and say, oh, well, they should go to a city council meeting. No, they're too busy trying to defend you.
No, I don't think they should have to know they're elected officials, but because they technically work for city manager. But my point is, out of what context of reality, you got a policeman there answering a disturbance call, you need to tell him you ran for office for mayor. Yeah. And then the poor guy misunderstands it as that it was the mayor. Right. So at any rate, true to their form, Cumberland County GOP has blocked every post I've tagged them in, whether it's responding to their own people that are running on their slates. So the team, is it Team Cumberland is the name of the current board's new slate. I've tagged them, and I even in the post said, it's 11:45 a.m. I've tagged them. Let's see how long it takes. And I think I had a massage, and then I came out of the massage, and I said, "Oh, look, 3:4." And I made another post. It's 3:47. Look, they untagged me again. So I'm trying to let them see what we're posting. I'm not trying to do it in the darkness. And as much as I despise, the Washington Post, I like their slogan: "Democracy dies in the darkness." And that democracy is beginning at our local party, and we have people that do not understand the concepts. So this will be the first recording that we've had to actually edit to, I don't know, we keep dropping cameras or something, but everything else we've done is unedited. But at any rate, we care about what's going on in our county. We have an important election coming up on March 8th for the convention, where we're voting for a new CEO of the party, essentially, for Cumberland County, for people watching. So,
and can I just state again, for the record,
yes,
we are not on either slate. We are not running to run the GOP. So right. Please, for the love of God, stop saying that we are trying to take control and run, because we're not.
No, I mean, listen, as a candidate, I needed a strong GOP. They weren't there. As a campaign manager for Simone Pemberton, you needed a strong GOP that didn't show up.
No.
So, whether I'm a candidate, whether I'm on city boards and commissions like you are, whether I'm on the radio show, we need a party that's going to have a party. They're going to do what it takes to help people get elected.
In one of our videos too, you know, me working with several nonprofits, the nonprofits I work with, they need legislation. They need new rules. They need new laws. And what better way to build a community and to build relationships than by working with them, because we are connected, that we can reach out to our elected officials to be able to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And when you alienate people by blocking them, by trying to censor them, I'm sorry, last time I checked, this was the United States of America.
Right.
Not freaking China.
What we're doing is very grassroots. You're in the community, I'm in the community. So we take constituent or citizen needs. Our first step is to our party to try to see, because we can interface with our legislators that
Absolutely.
way. And, you know, that's where legislation begins. The ideas are sown from this contact. So
maybe we should do a short little video of, I'm just a bill. I'm just a bill.
I think a lot of problems will be solved if people would read and people would watch that clip. But back to the matter that we have several hours of videos that we've made to try to explain what's going on. We finally had a response from the Cumberland County GOP chairwoman. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to like Mystery Science Theater it. I'm going to need to let the clip play. I would love to annotate it, but I technically don't know how to do that on this software app. So we're just going to have to grin and bear it right now. But it's a minute 19 long. So let's just give her the minute and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nina Morton, Cumberland County Republican Party Chair. It seems that some individuals are uncertain about their role and responsibilities should they be elected to serve as your next Cumberland County Executive Board. It is essential to recognize that the Cumberland County Republican Party Executive Board is not elected to integrate Democrats or their ideologies into our organization. Candidates may choose to strategize and cross party lines for votes. We, however, must adhere to the Republican Party platform and maintain unshakable loyalty to the Republican Party as dictated in our plan of organization here in Cumberland County, as well as the North Carolina Republican Party plan of organization. We're the Republican Party. Our color is red, not purple, just red. Donald J. Trump is our president. I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you for hearing me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Well, first off, Nina, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I didn't know if you knew that, so we'll just go ahead and say that right now. Secondly, I'm pretty sure that you and I both knew, Heather, that Donald Trump was our president.
No,
did you get that memo? I was filling out some TPS reports. I'm not sure if I sent that memo.
I don't think I saw that either. He won?
So what did we learn from this video? Number one, I've said it. You guys haven't really reacted the way I want comedically about this, but to me, Nina, I kept playing the video back, and it's like she's blinky, like a Vietnam POW down Navy fighter pilot.
I want to know what's with the soft voice.
Well, look, first of all, it's scripted.
You can definitely tell.
I mean, well, she's looking over the camera, so there has to be somebody. So it's like whoever is her captor is holding cue cards or something. Nina, if you're watching, there's this app called Big View, BIGVU. You got to pay for it, but it'll overlay the text on the screen, so whoever's directing you doesn't have to do that anymore. But anyway, so it's like it's scripted because she can't off the cuff, which that's just her style. Okay.
Not everybody can, and
right.
Not everybody can speak off the cuff. Not everybody's like, quick-witted and stuff like that. But to do a minute video and you can't talk about what you're doing or what the party's supposed to be doing,
it's all been deflection. It's all focus on, first of all, you and I aren't running for either slate. I co-founded the Republican Resource Center with Bree Eldridge and Laura Musler to give support to candidates at that time, myself and like a dozen others, I think, because the party wasn't doing anything. They wouldn't even give me a precinct list for me to talk to the people that she volunteered or had volunteered. And, you know, again, I said it in another video, I think Friday, it was a presidential election year. Everything's easier to recruit when people are fired up, especially with our candidate, Donald Trump. So yes, I'm proud that she was able to put together a list of people, but we never saw the list because she wouldn't share it. And the one she did give us was what, 2 years old? Yeah. And she took 3 days to cut the phone numbers and emails off of it. So I, as a candidate, couldn't just go and call these people.
Well, my question is too, they keep talking about getting Republicans elected. What Republicans did you get elected?
None.
Because last I checked, Diane was already in office, Tom was already in office, and we got Josh Ballard.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this. So Tom McInnes did not have an opponent.
Nope.
I mean, he did, but the guy was nobody, okay? Yeah. Diane Wheatley had an opponent who had run for city council before, could have caused her issue, but I think at the end, Diane cleaned the floor with Miss Ackles, and, you know, so there wasn't really a threat in those. If the current county board wants to claim those as victories, they really had not a difficult race, and it wasn't a challenge. Now, Leonard Bryant, Simone Pemberton, you guys had D plus 15, 18, 20. I mean, you guys were deep Democrat. Would have been a coup for the party if we really could have turned those seats. Where was the party?
We were trying to make history. We really were trying to make history. And, you know, I mean, we all were disappointed. Don't get me wrong. We were so disappointed on our campaign because we felt that we were doing more, or that we had reached more than we probably had. But in the time amount that we had to be able to go out and reach voters, it honestly, the 90% of the stuff, me and Simone were knocking doors.
Yeah.
You know, Tracy helped us in the beginning, and
you all,
but we were knocking doors, and then we had some Methodist college students coming at the very end. We still could not reach two people trying to knock doors for her Senate district. You know what I mean? Like, we had no support, none whatsoever.
Yeah, but just you all's effort. I mean, yeah, I'm disappointed for Simone not making it because she ran one of the most professional campaigns. She's a consummate community service person. I mean, she, if anybody deserves to be in a seat, or anybody that we need in a seat, Simone Pemberton is one person that, regardless of what the current board thinks, would be of great help to this community. But I think what you guys did was penetrated the community, the Democrat community,
we did,
deeper than any other GOP candidate in that district. And the work y'all did was
a couple Democrats. I mean, just by us out there talking to them, just telling them what we represented, what Simone represented, and what it was truly about. It really was about the issues. It really was about what change she was trying to bring, what money she was trying to bring. It was never an attack until we got attacked. We were just literally out there, and the majority of people that we talked to, especially Democrats, did not know about opportunity scholarships. They did not know they could send their kids to private schools and they were able to, you know, not have to worry about having to pay for it. And we were able to get a couple people, or I don't know how many people, but we were able to sway a lot of people based off of that alone.
Well, and like I said earlier about the neighbor that, you know, he voted a certain way but didn't tell his wife, because the people that are conservative and they want better things for their children and their family, they're going to go red, but they're going to look blue on the ballot box. But again, I want to bring back that, you know, you guys didn't attack until you were attacked. Well, what is Miss Morton doing?
She's
attacking. She is mischaracterizing. See, in the summer, and I think I'm responsible with this purple BS with her. When I went over the summer, I believe it was in July. It was after the primary. I wanted a precinct chair list so that I could start calling the precinct chairs that she had volunteered. And what I offered her was, I had already paid for the app to canvass, knock doors, phone bank with it. It was a flat fee for me, but I was willing, because the GOP had not released what's called the Campaign Sidekick app, which is where the GOP kind of lets us use their app. They didn't release that until what, September, October?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I mean, it was late in the cycle.
It was late. We kept asking for it.
Right. So, because I think it was, if I remember correctly, we had the young lady from Robeson County here at the RC, and she said, okay, we'll have it by the end of like next week. But then like 3 weeks after that day, still no app. So I went down to the GOP. I am in a room with Chairwoman Morton, and I said, look, I need a precinct chair list. I have this app. I'm willing to give it to you. Let me give this technology to your volunteers so we can start phone banking and texting. Everything was done in one app, and with metrics to measure what's our outreach, what's our response. And then I said, Nina, I need to turn this county purple over the next 2 to 3 years. And immediately, no, if it's not red, okay. Turning this county red is a conceit. I appreciate dedication, and it is not the job of the GOP to be anything but wavering red. However, reality and situational awareness around us says you are not going to win the hearts and minds of a deep blue Democrat voter with a MAGA mentality. Now, that doesn't mean that those blues aren't watching President Trump saying, that's my guy, but they're not going to share it with their friends that way. So I offered this to Chairwoman Morton over the summer, and at the conclusion of it, she, I think characteristically, overreacted, and to the point where I even kind of touched her hand on the table. I said, Nina, I'm not trying to be your enemy. Nina, actually, when I ran city council, she knocked doors with me and for me. I mean, she's a hell of a worker, but the inability to listen to and accept help, because at the end of our conversation was, if I were to give this app, that they are not to work at the resource center, which is, and I had to say, Nina, that's my office.
It became so all about the resource center. It was the second unofficial GOP office. Right. And every time you turned around, it was, oh, they're misfits, or they're the splinter group, or they're this, or they're that. And we weren't even trying.
We were never a part of them to splinter off from them.
But we weren't even trying to do the GOP's job. No. We were literally trying to take care of candidates and make sure the candidates had what they needed, because they were not getting it from the GOP. It wasn't me and Simone and Gloria and whoever was on our team and Tracy's job to go out and to try to recruit Republicans. Now, we did as part of door knocking because we wanted the votes. But overall, no, we're supposed to be presenting her as a candidate, why she's running, why you need to vote for her, and her values. If you decide you want to change your party affiliation along the way, we had voter registration forms that I would hand out to them at the door. Right. And they'd fill them out, and I'd take them and go turn them down at the Board of Elections as soon as they filled them out. Because we wanted to, and there were some even Democrats that we registered to vote. Because we, as much as, we would love to register Republicans, we wanted people to vote, period. And most of the people we did talk to, like you said, if they were Democrat and they did a Democratic, but they'd be like, I'm gonna vote for you. I'm gonna vote for you because you came and talked to me. You told me who you were. You told me what you stand and you believe for. Even if they voted for 8 other Democrats, they voted for Simone because she was out there talking to them.
And, it's shameful that it takes us, and we can't get our leadership in the Cumberland County GOP to understand you can't do this without the Democrats. You're just not going to go anywhere. The Democrats non-affiliated outnumber Republicans. We have about 49,000 in the county, and between unaffiliated to Democrat, it's about 150,000. So that's a 3-to-1 Democrat unaffiliated to Republican. You got to get a big chunk, a third of them, just to be at 50%.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, so again, this purple thing, I'm afraid, as with a few things going on in our party, is probably my fault, but you're welcome, Cumberland County. I didn't do it to hurt you.
We're not trying to get Cumberland County to change their plan of organization to be able to go against the
We're not trying to integrate Democrat policies into the GOP.
Exactly. No.
By no means. I don't want girls and boys and girls bathrooms and crap like that, but
we're trying to bring awareness that if you're out in events, start talking to people. Just because you have Republican and you have GOP or whatever under a tent or a banner or whatever, that does not mean that you can't still be out present, because I guarantee you Democrats don't care. They will be everywhere talking to everyone. And we have seen it.
They appreciate the personal service.
They do.
They appreciate being treated like individuals who matter. And that's what the Democrat Party has kept people on the plantation. I was getting ready to say the F word. But they've kept people on the plantation and taken them for granted. When Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. How dare you? Nobody gets mad at his racism. Are you kidding me? This old white. Some did, but not enough. Not enough to really sway. And not enough people were outraged by that. Now, let Trump say some crap like that next week, which I don't know. We can send him a note, say, hey, we need you to say this next Friday. He'll do it just to. You know, a lot of what Trump does, and he's been doing since he took office, is like just to make liberal heads just kind of explode. And I had a friend of mine reach out last night, and she said, is it really necessary for Trump to be going after Medicaid and welfare and stuff like that? And I said, you know, Congress has nibbled around the edges of reforming Medicaid and welfare and all this other stuff for years. Now we're in a position that we're actually going to get it on the floor, and we might see some reform and some change. It's not like we're going to get rid of it. You're not going to get rid of the entitlements, but again, the energy of we're just going to attack it. Like, look at Doge, all the people they've let go and everything. It's going to come to an end. It's only been 40 days.
You're just
at this point.
The bad apples is all you're doing.
Yes.
That's literally all he's doing. And you know, people keep saying, oh, you know, I lost my job. I have been unemployed for, I don't know, almost 18 months now. And I'm looking forward to this because this is going to open up jobs that I can actually apply for, that I'm qualified for, because I've got the qualifications. I'm not going to be overlooked now because of DEI.
Cumberland County, she's way more than a pretty face. She actually does. She's a pretty smart gal, and she'll cut you too. So be careful. But anyway,
but Trump do it like yesterday with Zelensky.
First of all, who the hell does Zelensky think he is, showing up to my White House without a shirt and a tie? You know, and I remember a time when we vilified Obama for wearing like a light colored suit in the Oval. Okay, which, you know, that's a hell-worthy trespass. But this gangster from Russia doesn't wear a suit and a tie. He should be shot. Anyway, but listen, we digress. We can talk national all we want. We have our own Vladimir Putin in charge of our Cumberland County GOP.
No,
I think that's insulting to Putin.
It is insulting to Putin.
Okay. But the thing is, and Nina, I know you're going to watch this, and God love you, Nina. I mean, I know you've worked hard, but you are off the reservation with your thinking and with your leadership style. You just take a rest. Seriously. I mean, you put your work in, you gave us your best effort. It just wasn't good enough for the county, and I'm sorry.
Here's the deal too, like, because she's probably thinking that all of these are attack videos. They're not personal. No. They're not personal. What it comes down to is you're ineffective as a leader. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't want to release control and let people around you help, especially your own board. By you having such a stronghold is the reason why we're in the situation that we're in, and we're making these videos and we're talking about it. Because a good and efficient leader relies on the people around them.
Well, and they encourage people around them to be smart with them. And you can observe this more than me, but I think this video is the first one I really have said her name like more than three, like Candyman, like she's going to show up and kill me. But I usually have, well, you say, you know, it's not a personal attack. I'm really not. It's just that I know her personally. She did help me before. But I think in most of these videos I've referred to Chairwoman, I think. And if I haven't, I apologize. But that's the only time you'll get an apology from me. So you can play that back on loop if you'd like. That goes for you too, Heather, you know, like, okay. So bottom line is I was trying to keep it in the lane. Anytime we put things up on screen, it was the receipts of what we're talking about. If it was whether the plan of organization or criminal reports or things of that nature, try to keep it in the lane. So what else would you like to add today? What else was your opinion of the video and stuff like that?
I mean, the whole purpose of the video, it didn't even address anything that we've talked about. Nothing at all. All she, like, again, it goes back to the purple tints. For some reason, they are so worried about the color purple. It's got to be, we're red, we're not purple. We know you're red. We know you're not purple. We're not saying for you to be purple, but what we're trying to tell you is this whole closed-minded 1940s, 50s baby boomer mentality has got to go, because that is not the way.
You know, I don't know if the baby boomer thing, and I don't believe that. I just think that
I do.
Well, hold on. You're dealing with folks. If I look at that board, they maybe had a career, they're retired, but in their career, they were probably isolated to people of their own, people that looked and thought like them. And you and I, as younger generation, we've grown up with integration. We've grown up with seeing that there is strength in the diversity of things.
They were around the 60s during the
Civil Rights Act.
During the Civil Rights Act, and when they were incorporating, the black children into schools. Don't say they weren't around for integration, because
yeah, but you're not dealing. It wasn't natural it was an unnatural act to them, but to us growing up, it was just that it was always like that.
Yeah, because
listen, none of that matter. I'm trying to give them a little bit of grace and say, look, they are not accustomed to, and what we need to be doing is reaching out to, as Republicans, we need to be having events and having things that are bringing folks together and not dividing, because that's what the media loves to do to us, is divide, divide. And then we don't get anything done. And if we have it in our own party that way, because now you're a Republican, now you're a Rhino, or you're a this, or you're a Reagan Republican, or you're a whatever flavor, and it's like nobody in the party is an arbiter of what somebody else's Republicanism looks like.
Right.
If I have an R by my name, I'm an R.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And that's what we need to have. That's why you have Cumberland United slate running against Team Cumberland, and Cumberland United is where we need to be. And by no means are we bringing Democratic ideology into our local GOP.
Not at all.
By no means.
Not at all.
So with that, Peter Pappas here with Heather Holmes. Republican conventions in a week. March 8th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is registration. You got to be there with $10 cash in hand and a photo ID. And we're going to be electing a new board of directors. So please come out.
And if you want to come back at us with these videos, come back at us with proof. Show us the receipts. Show us where the money's been spent. Show us, because you want to talk a big game and point the fingers about things that have done wrong, but you don't have anything to back it.
But they also comment anonymously as well.
Oh, so, that too. They comment.
It's fine. Guys, whoever's listening, we appreciate your time. I appreciate your time. I still love you. I'll still talk to you. I'll still shake your hand. At the end of the day, none of us are doing this, because we're all doing it because we want our community better. That's it. I don't need another job. We have enough. So
we love our party.
We do.
We just want to bring people in to be able to work for the greater good.
Absolutely. Well, with that, catch you around later.